Tell me, what did you learn from the Tillamook burn or the 4th of July? We're all gonna die. Hey, it's Nate from Echo City Music Lab. Today I'm doing a tutorial for 4th of July by Sufjan Stevens. I discovered this song a week or two ago and I've been listening to it non-stop. It's so good. It's very sweet but also dark and heavy at the same time. And I may or may not have cried at some point this week listening to it on headphones. Anyway, as always, I'll play through a full cover at the end. Let's get into it. Okay, we'll start with the intro, and I recommend getting the chords and lyrics sheet. I put a link down in the description that'll help you follow along and see where the chords you play line up with the words you sing. And let me just say, the chords in this song are a little bit deconstructed. For example, instead of playing an E major chord like that, which you might be used to, we're gonna be playing it like this, where the B is actually down there, and we're not even doing the E in the right hand, and maybe the left hand's doing the E, kind of spreading it out a little bit. It's part of what makes the piano on this song interesting. So here's the chord progression for the intro. We're just going to be playing with the right hand in the intro. We're not going to do any bass notes yet. First, we got a B minor 7. For the B minor 7, all we're doing is a D and an A, just like that. Then for the E, like I was saying before, we're doing a B and a G sharp here. And then for the D, we're just stepping that same shape down. It's going to be an A and an F sharp. We're in 4/4 time, so there's 4 counts for each of those measures, and we're thinking a pretty fast tempo where the chords are hitting on each one of those counts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 2 measures of the D there. And let me just point out, it's weird that we're calling that a B minor 7, right? If we had the B bass note in there, you would really hear it as a B minor 7, and later on we are going to have that bass note come in. So it's sort of just an implied chord there. But it's really sparse and a little bit ambiguous at the beginning. Also, throughout this song, I'm going to be using the sustain pedal. I'm going to be keeping it held down so that those quarter note chords kind of ring out together, but I'm just going to do a little lift every time the chord changes. Lift. Here I don't need to lift because it stays on D. Lift. So this is how the song starts, just kind of going through this progression 4 times. One more thing I want to say about the intro, which is that on the recording, there's a bunch of sort of high ambient stuff. It sounds like kind of high strings droning. The notes that kind of start out the song, there's a high D and then a C sharp, and that's kind of ringing out as the part starts. If you want to, you could add just like a little bit of those high notes here and there. If you don't do the high stuff and you're feeling like 4 times through this progression for the intro feels a little bit long, you could totally cut it in half and just do 2 times. So here's the second time. And then, of course, the verse starts. The evil it spread like a fever ahead on the night when you died, my firefly. So let's learn that. So here's the verse progression. Let's look at the right hand first. For the B minor, we're just going to do F sharp and D. Next, we've got the E over G sharp. For that, we're just going to do E and B. Now notice I used 1 and 5 for my fingers here and then transition to 1 and 4. You could also just totally hop the 1 and 5 to 1 and 5 there. I like the 1 and 4. That kind of sets you up for the A, which comes next. You're going to keep your thumb there on the E and then use your pinky on a C sharp here. Next, we're going to go right back to that E over G sharp chord. So E and B, same thing as before. Then we're going to step down to the B minor 7 we were doing in the intro, just D and A. We've got an E, just like we did it in the intro, and then we've got a D, just like we did it in the intro. I'm going to do it again, but I'm going to bring in the pulsing rhythm that we had, just the steady quarter notes. Notice that the first 2 measures have 2 chords crammed into them, so they're split in half. So there's only 2 counts of the B minor, 2 counts of the E over G, 2 counts of the A, 2 counts of the E, then a full measure, a whole 4 of the B minor 7, 4 of the E, and then 2 full measures of the D. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. You can use 1 and 4 here or 1 and 5. I probably switch between them without realizing it. Let's get the left hand in there. For the B minor, we're going to be doing a B bass note here with the pinky. Now when we go to the E over G sharp, we do the G sharp over G sharp. That means the bass note is G sharp, so that's why we're doing the left hand. I went up with my second finger there. That frees up our thumb to go to the A for the A chord. Then we're going right back to the E over G sharp, same thing. Now the left hand's going to kind of jump back down to the B for the B minor 7. There we go. Now it sounds like a B minor 7. And then for the E, we're going to go up to E here, using my second finger there. And then you just step down to D, going to my third finger here for the D root. And real quick, can we just nerd out on these chord voicings? So here's the B minor, right? If we took this B up an octave here and this D down an octave here, it's a B minor chord, regular old B minor chord. Now, for that E over G sharp, if you took this G sharp up here, you can see it's just a regular E major chord. Then for this A, if you took this C sharp down here, it's a regular A major chord. The same is true for all the chords pretty much, and it's really cool. Just spreading it out like that creates a really cool sound. And this part is a little tricky to get to play smoothly and sing at the same time. I definitely recommend like taking some time just practicing each hand separately to get a little bit of muscle memory going with it, so you don't have to think so hard when you want to put it together with the singing like this. The evil it spread like a fever ahead on the night that you died, my firefly. Notice I'm playing pretty gently still. What could I have said to raise you from the dead? Or could I be the sky on the 4th of July? Will you do enough? So we're in the chorus now, and the chorus is a little bit easier. As you can see, we're mostly just going back and forth between E and A. We're gonna voice E the same way we've been doing it in the intro and the verse, with the B and the G sharp. Then for the A, we're just gonna jump that same shape up. So it's the same A we did before, but it's a little more convenient this time because we're going back and forth twice between the exact same shape. And then, hey, the D, same shape again. And with the left-hand bass notes, I'm going to do second finger on that E, then thumb can play the A. We'll go back and forth like that. And then you can just do third finger on D there. And once again, we're packed 2 chords per measure, so 2 counts for each of those chords until you get to that last measure of D, which gets 4 counts. Well, you do enough talk, my little hawk. Why do you cry? Tell me, what did you learn from the Tillamook burn or the 4th of July? We're all gonna die. The timing is kind of weird there, which is cool, but it's a little confusing to think about. I think the cleanest way to think about it is just to think of that last measure of D as a half measure that gets 2 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, and then we are in the interlude. Here's what the interlude sounds like. So you'll notice it's basically the same thing as the verse. Couple differences though. For starters, I'm just playing it louder. This part is just a little more intense. The song kind of sings out here before pulling back for the mellow verses. So playing it louder, and then also when you go to that B minor 7, there's that little melody there. So I use 1 and 4 here for the D and the A, which we've been doing. And then 1, 2, 3, and 4. And so in the 8th notes between the counts after 3 and 4, I'm just kind of stepping up to that B. 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1, 2. That's all there is to it. It might take a little practice just getting the coordination of that. And one other thing is when we get to this D, just going down, I'm just doing low octaves there. You could do a single low note, but on the recording this like bassy synth swells in there. It's really super cool. So just to get some of that feel there. So we've already covered most of what you need to know. We've got another verse, another chorus, another interlude, another verse, another chorus, all basically the same stuff, just different words. In the choruses for the rest of the song on the D, I'm gonna do octaves. You hear a little bit more of that swelly bass synth that I was talking about. So like the next chorus is, did you get enough love, my little dove? Why do you cry? And I'm sorry I left, but it was for the best, though it never felt right. So it just adds like a little bit more intensity there. Careful not to oversell it. Just having that low note in there will do the trick. I would keep it kind of quiet with everything else. Let's talk about the bridge, which is basically just an extension of the last chorus. It kind of does an extra chorus, but it's reharmonized, so we have a little bit more to learn on the piano. So this is the, will you do enough talk, my little hawk, why do you cry? So instead of going back and forth between an E major chord and an A major chord, we're going back and forth between their relative minors, the C sharp minor and the F sharp minor. Of course, the chord voicings are a little bit spread out like the rest of the chords in the song. So for the C sharp minor, we're gonna do a G sharp and an E in our right hand, and then same exact shape, but moving it up here to a C sharp and an A for the F sharp minor. And I might do it like 1 and 3, 1 and 5, because it allows you to do it a little bit more smoothly. If that feels like a big stretch or it just feels too tricky, you can also totally just hop it. And the left hand's just gonna do the bass notes, the notes the chords are named after. So C sharp for the C sharp minor, and then F sharp for the F sharp minor. Will you do enough talk, my little hawk? Why do you cry? Still gonna do that little octave there. Tell me, what did you learn from the Tillamook burn or the 4th of July? We're all gonna die. So on the last chorus into the bridge, the weird half measures thing just happens at the end of the bridge. Really, that just comes up when you go, we're all gonna die, and transition to the interlude. And this interlude is the same as the other interludes, with the one difference being, we're all gonna die. So you sing that there. And then again here, we're all gonna die. And then still doing the octaves there. I might even go down to a low octave. We have a little extra space here. For the first time in the song, a chord lasts more than 2 measures. It lasts for 4 measures here as it just kind of chills out on D and gets ready for the outro. We're all gonna die. So the outro is just like the intro, except for you're singing the we're all gonna die bit. And also, when you get down to the D, you do low bass note. We got some synth swelling in there on the recording. You can totally do octaves. That might sound cool. Also, one other detail, you can hear on the recording a little bit late, an F sharp actually swells in, which is part of that D major chord. I'm gonna maybe execute it kind of like. We're all gonna die. So just giving a little touch of that F sharp. And it does that 4 times, and the last time it does. We're all gonna die. So no chord on that last die, and that's it. All right, thanks for sticking with me. I'm gonna do a full cover now so you can see how all those parts we just talked about fit together in a complete cover. If you like this video and you're not already subscribed, you should subscribe so you know whenever I come out with more videos like this. Give it a like and let me know in the comments what you want to hear next. All right, here's my version of 4th of July. spread like a fever ahead. It was night when you died, my firefly. What could I have said to raise you from the dead? Or could I be the sky on the 4th of July? Will you do enough talk, my little hawk? Why do you cry? Tell me, what did you learn from the Tillamook burn or the 4th of July? We're all gonna die. Sitting at the bed with a halo at your head, was it all a disguise like junior high? Where everything was fiction, future and prediction. Now, where am I, my fading supply? Did you get enough love, my little dove? Why do you cry? And I'm sorry I left, but it was for the best, though it never felt right, my little Versailles. The hospital asked, should the body be cast before I say goodbye, my star in the sky? Such a funny thought to wrap you up in cloth. Do you find it alright, my dragonfly? Shall we look at the moon, my little loon? Why do you cry? Make the most of your life while it is rife, while it is light. Will you do enough talk, my little hawk? Why do you cry? Tell me, what did you learn from the Tillamook burn or the 4th of July? We're all gonna die. We're all gonna die.